following program is a special presentation of the Big Ten Network, produced in association with Michigan State University.
Welcome to MSU Today. I'm Jim Peck. Here's what's coming your way right now.
Push, mic and cue, go.
Welcome to the fast-paced,
a little stressful, but we'll make it.
high-stress world of television news.
We work on a show called Focal Point.
Stand by the mic and cue.
We have been working on this game. It's called Zone. Welcome to Zone. This virtual tour to China. Now come with me.
We're a destination. People come to this area and to the university to come to the gardens. We were the first garden of its kind, and now there's children's gardens everywhere.
To me, it seems like a no-brainer. I mean, the space is not being used. I mean, look at all the roofs we have.
I just think green roofs are really neat. It's a great way to bring nature back to the urban environment.
Now, tomorrow's news people are coming from MSU, where learning the job and doing the job are all mixed together. Roll it.
Have them stand by.
One more time, Jamal.
I'm going to count you down.
They want to check your levels again.
Yeah, record it.
We'll get this out and we're good.
3, 2, 1. Alright, stand by the pan. 1. Push, mic and cue, go.
Welcome to the fast-paced,
A little stressful, but we'll make it.
high-stress world of television news.
We work on a show called Focal Point.
I love Focal Point. I've been in Focal Point since I was a sophomore.
We're pretty much going to have to do the whole thing over again.
Stand by the mic and cue. Take 1.
And today we were doing our live to tape show, which we do bi-weekly.
Ready on 3 for Leslie?
It's seconds away from showtime, but much of the work has been prepared days in advance.
The whole angle for men's basketball is people being excited for the tournament.
Reporters have made calls, gone out, shot stories, and have come back and put them together.
Yeah, it got cut out of last show, but I'm happy it's in this one.
These future journalists are learning by producing.
I think a lot of people don't realize how much goes into a show.
I'm plugging in the teleprompter so people can read. Well, actually, they're illiterate, so it doesn't even matter if I plug anything in.
There are thousands of media outlets.
I am working on tapes. So essentially, I just hit a button.
Hopefully
I don't screw up.
Roll the record tape. Stand by to roll D in 3, 2, 1. Roll it.
Rolling D.
Mic and cue.
Well, I wanted to get the experience of anchoring.
For every 10 anchors there are that want to be anchors, there's like 1 producer.
We come into this profession kind of thinking, well, I want to be an anchor.
And I think sort of producers and directors and all that stuff behind the scenes, technical directors, they're very underappreciated.
It's important to know what is involved in everyone's job.
Ready, 3.
So everyone here knows how to do everything.
Run camera. I would run tape deck. I would do audio board, teleprompter, editing.
I wanted to drag A1 to A3.
Writing scripts, and anchoring, which is so much fun.
And like anything in television, there's usually a take 2.
Oh no! Cut.
Just read the prompter.
I'm trying to.
No, I know. That's okay.
Alright, exact same thing.
But that's okay. With a student newscast, there's time here to learn and to teach.
I think it's a great, valuable experience for them. You know, it's real-world experience. They're getting to see what it's all about.
Students don't know what it's really like to be in a live newsroom.
And re-QC, Bob.
What we are trying to do here is simulate that.
We'll go take 1 for Jamal out of that.
Not only do they have to learn all the jobs, but they need to understand the terminology used as well.
You know, what the heck is a CG?
Would you hit play record for me, please? This is a tape for Bruce Campbell's SOT, which is essentially a sound end tape, or a quote.
For the drunk driving, it says VOSAT VO.
VOSAT tag.
I'm just making sure you guys know that.
The people who take it are the best of the best. The people who really want to be here and put in the work. They'll call in late to work and say, I'm doing my story for Focal Point.
Jamal, you were supposed to be in at 3:30?
They'll say, I'm not eating dinner again.
I'm eating because I haven't had lunch yet. I'm very hungry.
We got a couple different options here.
Roll C. Take it. Track it full.
Going very slowly. It's always one problem.
Television news is a field that's constantly changing with new technology.
Having more skills classes like this and less theory classes will really help them in the professional world.
I think it gave me a head start getting into my internships.
Sort of gets you ready for the field, gives you a sense of a newsroom setting.
And these students are getting a head start before they have to head out into the hectic world of television news.
Giving the students this kind of real-world opportunity is just it's priceless, and it's so important.
We all come together. We're in a newsroom together, working together to get a show to air.
You can't just have textbook knowledge to get a job in this field. you have to go out and do it, and you have to do it repetitively in order to get a decent resume tape to take out to a television station or wherever you want to get a job. You have to have a resume that's going to show some practical experience. Otherwise, it's not going to happen.
Stand by to roll.
Join us next time as we put more Spartan news in focus.
See you online.
We leave you now with some music from
Roll,
a
see
recent
you.
hip-hop
3,
show at
2,
Mac's Bar.
1. Roll it.
Good night.
Mike and Q.
This show went so much better than the last one.
We're just going to keep plugging away, and every week we'll get better.
I'm just glad that's over.
Monday we start all over again.
They're so good at camouflaging themselves, you just don't ever see them.
We're
Whoa. It's mixed. But you know what? I've never had a kid cry.
I said it wasn't off of me!
This presentation is brought to you by Michigan State University, America's premier land-grant institution. 150 years of advancing knowledge, transforming lives.
When I was greener than the hill, where flowers grew and the sun shone still. Now I'm darker than the deepest sea. Just hand me down, give me a place to be.
You know, I'm not a big fan of bugs, but for kids, it's a whole different story.
Read you a story about bugs in the garden, which is perfect because we're in the garden and we're learning about bugs.
It feels like
the big showstopper is the bug house.
something is hanged onto your hands.
The 4-H garden on campus is always a hit with the kids, but it really comes to life on Bug Day.
I'm to see the cat.
So, Jessica, we're in the bug garden.
We're in the Michigan 4-H Children's Garden. We don't have a bug garden.
It's not the bug garden.
It's Bug Day is what we're at.
Okay.
People get confused, bug garden.
It's Bug Day, not Bug Garden.
Right, Bug Day is the event, yes.
Should I just leave now? Is this already not working for us?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Since 1993, the garden has been a spot where MSU research and fun and kids come together.
Bug Day is an annual event. It's always such a huge hit, so we make sure that we bring this event back every year.
And what are these kids going to be doing? I mean, I see they're building things, they're looking at things, they may be even, I heard they may be even eating things.
Yes. So we want to make Bug Day the most interactive opportunity possible. We have a lot of resources available to us here at the garden, so we want to make sure that the kids leave here loving bugs. So we have a variety of different activities. They're making bug hats, they get to build a bug, they get to look at our bee observation hive. So we want to show them all the different areas that we can of bugs and bugs in the garden.
Why is this important for MSU to be doing this? I mean, what, as far as the university goes, why is this such an important, you said it's outreach, but it can't be just showing these kids a bug, a flower, a tree, can it?
Right, well, what we, here at the Children's Garden and here at the university, what we really want to do is we want to open our facilities and the university into the community. So we want to make sure that people know the university is here for them, that we have resources and information available for them here at the garden and also at the university. So these types of events are ways for us to bring people in from around the university, using the garden as kind of the venue to let people come out and investigate different things that the university is doing, different things that the horticulture department is doing. So it's outreach, but it's also a way for us to kind of share the information that to kids that not many people would be able to share otherwise.
It's part of the MSU Horticulture Gardens right here on campus. 14 acres devoted to flowers, plants, and bugs, even if you're not quite sure what kind it is.
I don't know. An African stick. It's a stick? No, it's not bug, but I don't know why it's called a stick. It's called a walking stick. Yeah, it's a walking stick.
There's all sorts of things for the kids. You can build a bug.
That's good. Good job.
You can make bug hats.
You need to make your hat.
Even eat some bugs.
All right, you may make one more bug to eat.
This year we decided that we were going to make insects out of dried fruit. So they get to design their own insects. We try to get them to use all the characteristics of an insect, so give it 3 body parts, 6 legs, antenna, all those things. So it's just a way for the kids to get to explore insects in a different way, knowing their characteristics, and not those just give them a worksheet and have them fill it out. It's a different way for them to be able to learn about insects.
Jessica is a great tour guide, even if she does tend to get a little buggy.
Well, you know what? In some parts of the world, they wear bugs as jewelry. Live bugs. I'm not kidding. They wear like these live bug lockets.
Because it looks pretty.
They're so good at camouflaging themselves, you just don't ever see them.
Weird.
It's mixed. But you know what? I've never had a kid cry.
I said it wasn't off of me!
I would think that they would cry. They cry at so many other things, but not these. So they're just really interested.
Did you say it was gross?
Yeah. You know, I think if I had to eat bugs, I could, but I just don't have to eat bugs.
They get about 150,000 visitors a year. Now, while it doesn't quite rival the crowd at Spartan Stadium, come on, this place is bugs and flowers.
I would definitely say we're a destination. People come to this area and to the university to come to the garden.
And she says when they come to see the garden, they learn a lot about Michigan State.
We were the first garden of its kind, and now there's children's gardens everywhere. So it's really great for us to see the growth in children's gardens and the value that people put on it in children. You know, if the children's garden wasn't here, how many children actually come to the university? Probably not that many.
So the outdoors open doors to learning about bugs and plants and flowers, but also about what happens on campus. She says the kids learn what college can be like, how it can be fun and full of knowledge and, well, just a honey of a place to be.
You look fabulous! Now you're ready to go beekeeping.
Yeah, it's great right now, but it's going to get better, and you know, I hope people continue with it, you know, as we make development.
We are going to explore China together.
If Michigan State University has a skyline, Beaumont Tower is its iconic centerpiece. Since 1928, it's been a point of reference, a meeting place, a quiet anchor, and sometimes just something you pass without a thought. But you can't help but notice when the carillon bells toll at points on the hour. 49 of them ring us through the day. The heaviest weighs in at 2.5 tons, the smallest about 15 pounds. The carillon went silent in the 80s, but after a renovation in the 90s, the air is filled again with the sweet tones. And in the all-too-brief Michigan summer, special performances echo across campus. Learning a new language is always a challenge, but now learning Mandarin Chinese may not be easy, but it sure looks like fun. You just click.
It's quite exciting. China's growth in the past 20 years, double-digit economic growth, definitely has put China on the map.
In a small corner of East Lansing, there's a team that's looking big. China big.
You don't have to go to China to learn Chinese.
The team at the Confucius Institute is working hard to make it easy for you to learn Chinese.
It's basically a multiplayer flash game.
Their idea? A massive interactive multiplayer video game. Yes, a video game.
We have been working on this game. It's called Zong. Welcome to Zong. This virtual tour to China. Now come with me. We're going to walk through the Chinese streets, check in a Chinese hotel. Of course, we got to get the airport first, find your luggage.
The game is a way of making learning fun.
And if you know nothing about Chinese, if you play the game long enough, that's what involves probably several years and thousands of hours, you will be fluent in Chinese.
I can actually listen to it,
你好.
or I can just select it, and then if I select the right one, I can continue the conversation.
So it's truly a breakthrough for how we learn language.
Young Zhao is the head of the project.
All learning should be like this. All learning should make you feel proud, more confident, more empowered to do more things. That's why knowledge is useful.
With a new way of learning a language, there are challenges that the team needs to overcome.
We're interfacing two cultures. We need to figure out how to make something exciting and motivational for kids to play in the US while at the same time having authentic Chinese content and language.
The best environment is perhaps that when you are immersed in a foreign culture.
The goal? A video game that is both entertaining and educational at the same time.
It's nice because it's authentic. You really go to the Beijing airport, you'll see pretty much everything that's in the Beijing airport in Zan.
And with the Beijing Olympic Games, there's a lot of interest in China and the
a
language.
group at MIT who is responsible for designing the website for NBC Olympics. So I think we've been talking about using our game as one of the venues for people going to Olympics to learn about China, learn the Chinese language.
The game not only teaches you the language, it explains China's culture and even helps tourists prepare for their trip.
Well, right now we're in the airport in front of the Bank of China counter where you change your money, convert your traveler's checks into zone dollars.
So I can go back and say, I want to just do $100 traveler's check. And then, thank you.
To move along in the game, you need to interact with the characters in everyday situations, using your new language skills.
You can either do so by engaging in a conversation, a transaction that you can buy from the game. If you're successful buying, let's say, a cup of coffee, that means you've succeeded.
The game is online and it's free to play.
I would go to enterzon.com. It's kind of like our development blog, web portal.
Just click and instantly transport into the culture of China.
Yeah, it's great right now, but it's going to get better, and you know, I hope people continue with it, you know, as we make development.
We are going to explore China together.
Plants take out the carbon dioxide that's in the air, use it to create sugars. And what we want to know is how much carbon can a green roof store. Gotta kind of start clipping kind of high.
This presentation has been brought to you by Michigan State University, America's premier land-grant institution. 150 years of advancing knowledge, transforming lives.
Someday, your roof could look a lot like this. In fact, it's cool in more ways than one.
It seems everybody's going green these days, and when you're talking about buildings, it only makes sense to start at the top, to start with the roof.
Basically what a green roof does, I mean, it helps cool this building in three ways. One, your media layer there acts as another insulation layer. The plant canopy shades the roof from the sun, and then also you have transpirational cooling. As those plants transpire, it's basically cooling that roof.
It might sound a little technical, but basically it just means growing plants on the roof, and growing plants on the roof helps the environment. Smart, right?
To me, it seems like a no-brainer. I mean, the space is not being used. I mean, look at all the roofs we have. People we're not going away. We're going to continue building. We're going to build buildings. We're going to build roads, parking lots, and so forth. Stormwater is a major problem because of those impervious surfaces. Parking lot or a roof, it basically runs off instantaneously, and then you have a whole stormwater infrastructure system which has to deal with that. So one thing that green roofs does is it holds stormwater basically and doesn't let it run off.
It's an idea that's caught on in Europe, especially in Germany. And not only do these green roofs help prevent things like the warming of the environment, they can help you save some cold, hard cash. Instead of a roof lasting 20 years, a green roof can hang in there for 60 years or even more.
In Germany, they actually have a green roof that's been there for 90 years, and they have not had to replace it.
And, just so you know, even the dogs are going green.
I have a doghouse at home that's a green roof, so we built one for our student show, and the person that bought that liked it so much, and he's a developer, that he's actually building a green roof on a new condo in East Lansing, but it all came back to that doghouse.
The research got started here at Michigan State when the Ford Motor Company wanted some questions answered, and, of course, they came to MSU. They wanted to know about the potential for green roofs. From there, the research just kept going here on campus.
The Ford Motor Company has been one of our major funding sources.
He says the future is bright for this, especially in urban areas, industrial areas, not just homes. Cities present the biggest challenges for energy. They have what are known as urban heat islands.
Well, the city of Atlanta's urban heat island, it's like 10 degrees warmer, you know, right in the city as is in the suburbs.
Green roofs can help douse the heat. Some American cities are getting on board with the idea.
Chicago is by far the leader in green roofs in the United States.
They're developing standards and guidelines to promote green roofs in Chicago. He says that could help a lot if cities and communities step up and try to plant the seeds of change by coming up with some incentives to going green.
When we first started talking about green roofs, it was always like, what are you doing? You know, no one had a clue what it was, and I think that's changed quite a bit.
This study here was installed in 2005.
Roof research means test areas where they look at green and traditional roofs. Sensors in each layer of the roofs tell them what's going on with the temperature.
On a hot summer day, you see the temperature fluctuation on the non-green roof gets very warm and then cools off, and that constant expansion and contraction is what causes the roof to fail. Whereas under the green roof, it basically pretty flat, stays ambient temperature.
They've been at this for years. Along with the temperature variations, they're also looking at things like how green roofs take carbon out of the air and make it cleaner.
Plants take out the carbon dioxide that's in the air, use it to create sugars. And what we want to know is how much carbon can a green roof store. Gotta kind of start clipping kind of high.
She chooses a chunk of vegetation and cuts out a sample. That'll be compared to a sample from a non-green roof.
Periodically we come up here and we harvest the biomass so we can analyze how much carbon is in that biomass at any given time.
Eventually, this could lead to helping offset the carbon footprint of buildings. That's an unknown, something for the future, but they're working on it here at MSU.
It's just one more thing to add to the equation where I'm going to build a building, do I put a green roof on it or not? And of course, with energy prices keep going up and up, green roofs are becoming more and more feasibly economically.
There are the things you can gauge, and there are the intangibles, all the small things that can add up to big demand.
Less demand for air conditioning, you're going to have cleaner air, less ozone, pollution. Those are the ones that are easy to measure. Then you have things like aesthetics. Studies have shown that people recover more quickly when they're around green and plants.
You might not think of this as an agricultural effort, but make no mistake, it's rooted in the way we grow things.
I think agriculture in a whole is changing immensely. It's not just growing corn and wheat, and green roofs is just another part of that. The thing with green roofs is it involves a lot of other people, say engineering, building, construction. It's not just going out in the field and planting corn or something like that. There's more things involved.
I just think green roofs are really neat. It's a great way to bring nature back to the urban environment.
And that is an idea just about everyone seems to like these days.